Hi everyone, it's me, hopefully skinny, and this is my friend Lisa. She's my best friend. We've known each other since we were 6, and she's going to be my caretaker, right? The person that's going to be taking care of me after my surgery and driving me there and all that kind of stuff. So I thought I would do a video to introduce her and maybe give her impressions and take of possible things that she thinks she might have to deal with me. So let's start off with your introduction.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I've known Nikki for about 30 years now.
Way to age us.
Alright. I think this lighting's aging us, actually. But yeah, I've known her for what feels like forever. She's like my sister, and I've been there with her through this entire journey. Yeah, that's about it.
So how did you feel when I first told you that I wanted to have the surgery?
I don't know. It was something I had thought of myself too. Not for myself, but I thought, of it as an option. As a kid, my grandmother went through it herself, so I wasn't a stranger to it. So when you started talking about it, it made sense to me, and I was actually really excited for you as a prospect, because I do know that it's something that can definitely give you, it'll just give you that help that you need in this weight loss journey that you've been on. So I thought it was a really positive thing that you came up with.
So can you tell me 2 things that you've noticed that changed the most about our relationship since the start of the journey?
I wouldn't say much about our relationship specifically, but I do know that I'm much more conscious of what I eat around you, what I bring around you. I spend a lot of time concerned and worried about how my own eating habits, which are definitely not the best, would possibly influence you, because I know that you are working so hard to make this happen. So there's that constant awareness that I struggle with, and also, I don't know, I think that it's been really exciting, and seeing everything you've accomplished and what you've done has definitely raised my respect for you. Not that it wasn't huge already, but
Yes, because we all know how amazing I am. Okay, so you have been on this journey for the beginning for 7 years, and you've seen me stumble quite often, and you've seen me start over often. So what was the heads up when I decided this last time in November that I was going to really push for the surgery? What was it that seemed to be different this time?
Every time you did it before, there was a lot of, and I'm going to be brutally honest here, but there was a lot of need for guidance and hand-holding, and there were a lot of questions that you were coming to people with. This time, you actually started the ball rolling all by yourself. You did everything entirely by yourself. There was no hand-holding, there were no questions. It was just this decisive, this is what I'm going to do, this is how it's going to happen, and here's how you could come on this journey with me if you're so inclined. So there was a lot more of, you had just become so definitively set on doing this, and you made up your mind, and it was very apparent in how you went about doing it.
So I had mentioned before in my videos that 2 of our friends have recently had the surgery, and they have been extremely supportive in talking to me about what they've gone through, their issues, and my anxiety about the surgery coming up, because I felt like I had 6 weeks to sit and really brew on this. What is your take on so many friends in our group having this surgery?
I feel kind of left out. Like, I'm going to be the only fat friend left. But I think it's great. I mean, a lot of our friends have expressed concerns with their own body images and things like that, and I see that happening, and knowing that they have this option as a tool to help them gain control of their lives and their health is really exciting to me, and I see the changes happening in them. They seem to be very positive. I mean, some of the changes are just neutral, they're just changes, but I see them becoming so much more happy and so much more confident, and I like that. So I like that, you know, so many people I know are undergoing this sort of metamorphosis.
So, we had talked about how getting used to people after surgery, we've come with our experiences that it was an adjustment for us, not necessarily negative, but it was definitely where we felt we were invested in people with their personality, not necessarily their weight, but that we're invested in who they were then, and it's a readjustment to get to use them and reinvest. I don't know if that's the correct term, but to refit them in. Does that make sense? Like our judgment, our perception of them changes a little.
Right.
So, what are your, not expectations, but I guess your predictions of what would change about my personality?
It's hard to say, because if I base my predictions on past experience, that's hard. Everyone's different. Everyone responds to changes differently. The biggest thing that I've seen that I can see happening with you is you are a very large, loud personality. You're almost an intense person.
That could be a bad thing.
It's not necessarily bad, it just is what it is. But I have seen people sort of, I wouldn't say become smaller. I don't know if that's the right word, but they
Probably thinking quieter.
Yeah, just quieter, not physically smaller. I mean, there's that too. But I see a lot of almost withdrawing, and there seems to be less of a need to be heard and to be seen. Which, I mean, I can speculate all I want about the psychological implications of that, but I do see that, and I also, you seem much more already. You've already gotten into this. We've talked about this whole OCD type A personality with the need to organize everything and be hyper in control of your environment and your surroundings. So that that's been one of the biggest changes that I can see actually intensifying after. So,
well, just to explain, I do have an issue with control. I do like to feel control in my environment and in my relationships. I understand that's not necessarily 100% healthy. So I try to manipulate physical things that don't matter if I have control over them, such as organizing my drawers or
right.
organizing my food or that kind of thing, because I feel that's more of a healthier way to feel that need
Yes.
to feel like you're in control.
Right.
Just a heads up, nothing on here other than my sex life is totally open.
Okay.
So
everything's open.
yeah.
Okay.
So you know, you don't have to totally censor anything. You can swear if you want. So so let's get down to the nitty gritty, because I know that at least I haven't seen videos where someone has taken their main support person and asked them questions or asked what their main support person is expecting in their role of taking care of them for the first couple of days after surgery. According to my pre-op class, I will not be bedridden, thank goodness, right? But we all know my parchment for the allergy pain, to put it nicely. So what are
ID bracelet for that?
so what is some hurdles do you think that you might have to deal with, and have you thought of a game plan to deal with how difficult I would be?
Alcohol for me. I can see needing a strong de-stressing technique for myself, because I do know you do have the penchant for pain allergy, and you are not afraid to let people know how bad things hurt when they hurt.
That is true.
And I have a difficult time dealing with people being in pain, because I do tend to be very empathetic, and if I can't fix it, I kind of do the panic thing. So there's that. But I do think that we're going to be very focused on pain management, and I'm going to have to push past the empathy and push past the fear of you being in pain, because I know that pain is going to be a part of the healing process, and I'm going to have to make sure that I am helping to get you out of bed, get you walking, get you moving, get your blood oxygenated, and all these things that are necessary to keep the healing process moving forward. So I am concerned with my own ability to make that happen effectively and to, you know, make sure that I am a good influence to have around, because I am more inclined to keep my butt really in contact with the couch most of the day if I can. So I'm going to have to be getting up with you and making sure that you see me doing that with you and you're not feeling so alone in this process.
So you're talking about at least spending the night before surgery with me, possibly if not the last 2 days before surgery. How are you going to feel that I have to be on a liquid diet for 2 days before surgery?
Terrified. Because hangry Nikki, for those of you that don't know, that is a term made up by my roommate Beth, which is a combination of hungry and angry. Hangry Nikki is scary Nikki.
And, I mean, that's scary.
No, you're terrified. But I also know on the flip side of that, so am I. And which is why I will not be on an entirely liquid diet with you, because there could be an entire
genocide.
There could be something really bad happening in your house those couple days, so I don't want to do that. I may decide to drink on the slide to deal with it. I am not an actual alcoholic. That's mostly a joke, maybe wishful thinking. But, you know, I am going to have some coping mechanisms and techniques. I will probably just turn on some anime and keep you parked in front of the TV when we're not walking and dumping shakes down your throat.
Oh my God, does that mean you're actually going to watch it with me?
No, but I won't complain when you watch it this time.
I can't complain, right? Okay, so I think that's all the questions that I have. Do you have any questions?
Not really. I would say, if anyone's watching this and they have their support person watching this, my advice is educate yourself as much as possible. Don't just, take the things that your friend who's going through this tells you, but take the time to go online, research this stuff, go to their workshops, go to their classes, read the literature they have. Try being on their diet with them for a couple of days so you have a little bit more of a sense of what they're going through, because I did do that with her at first when we decided to try a liquid diet for a while.
How did that go for you?
It didn't go well for either of us.
No. The liquid diet did not last very long.
No, it was a little scary. Not only was I hangry and dealing with hangry here, but
I was an angel compared to this one.
No. But I was incredibly stupid. I mean, even something as simple as getting up and getting dressed became difficult because my caloric intake was cut so much. And I was so desperate to chew on something that I think I went through about 3 packs of gum in one day, that dessert gum stuff that tastes like ice cream and cake and all that. But yeah, try going through what they're going through. Put yourself in their shoes in a literal sense, if possible. Try working out with them a couple of times, just so you know exactly where they're coming from and you can really get on board with what's going on with them, because everything that they're doing makes so much more sense when you put yourself in that world.
So just a heads up, she did go to almost every class. The first time around I went with Kaiser, and so it's pretty much the same stuff. She wasn't able to go to very many classes this time around, but it was the same rehashing of the stuff. And so I guess God, I had a really important question I wanted to ask you, and I totally forgot, so it must not have been that important. I'm trying to remember what it was. I totally forgot. Okay, so I guess it's not that important of a question. If I can remember it, maybe I'll type it in down in the comments. But how are you going to deal with me for a week? Like, I'm actually really curious to see your success, in dealing with me. I'm not just as if I'm not easy to deal with.
I'll be honest. I mean, it's going to be a one day at a time thing. I'm going to get up. I'm going to make things happen as they need to get happen. I think I'm going to be so focused on making sure you're okay, because that's my number one priority at this point. The other stuff, I expect you're a grown woman. You've been going through this process. You know what you need to do to be healthy. I'm here to support that, not to force anything. But also, first and foremost, I'm here because if on the off chance something goes wrong, I have to be aware and ready to, get you medical attention that you need. And I think that's actually a big fear of mine. You know, if something does go wrong, I need to feel like I can be effective at
Well,
implementing that.
Here's a little tool we call the telephone that if something goes wrong, there's 3 little numbers you press, 911.
Can you write that number down for me?
I will. So you don't forget.
Yeah.
So I guess the other thing is that will you do updates for me on the video on my phone when I'm in the hospital to let everyone know how it's going?
Yeah, I will do what I can.
But no putting me on unless I ask, because I'll be looked toward back.
We'll see.
Yeah. No.
You have to sleep sometime.
I know how to delete shit off my account. Alright, so I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you for watching. And this is my best friend, Lisa. We've known each other forever. We're like sisters. So, once again, thank you. And if you have any questions you want us to answer, she's not sappy. But any questions you want us to answer or any comments, of course, put them down below, and we'll read them and answer them as they come in. Thanks again. Bye, everybody.